Tonight on CTV News at 5.
I'd like to keep it on the cheaper side and prioritize something where you can actually talk and get to know the person.
Dating dilemma, love don't cost a thing, but dating sure does.
There was a lot of beauty in this community, and I hope I can show that with this exhibit.
And a walk through Africville, a traveling exhibit, brings the historic community to life.
Everything is white when we came.
Plus, Syrian success story. 10 years later, a refugee family is grateful for their home away from home.
Light snow and flurries tonight with colder temperatures ahead for Friday and the weekend.
Live from the Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Maria Penopalis. Thank you for joining us. First at 5 tonight, dating dilemma. Dinner and a movie just don't cost what they used to. In fact, wining and dining that special someone is off the table for some singles who say they've had to cut back because it's just too expensive. As CTV's Hafsa Arif reports, rising costs have changed the dating game. Hi there, Hafsa.
Hey, Maria, that's absolutely correct. Dating in Canada is getting pricier, and for a lot of people, that's changing how they often swipe, sip coffee, or sit down for dinner. A new TD study shows nearly 3 in 10 Canadians are going on fewer dates because of cost, while almost the same number are switching to cheaper or even free options instead. Dinner and a movie might sound romantic, but it adds up fast. A franchise dinner date can top $120. A sporting event can climb past $200, while a simple coffee date might only set you back $25 to $30, which is why it may be no surprise 30% of Canadians say they're dating less because of the cost, and 29% say they've shifted to low or no cost dates instead.
I'm not exactly loaded, so I'd like to keep it on the cheaper side and prioritize something where you can actually talk and get to know the person.
And it's not just where people are dating.
And what we found was an increase in values around finances when dating, financial transparency, as well as shared financial goals, which are all really important, especially when you're looking for a long-term partner.
A generation coming of age during high rent, high interest rates, and a tight job market. Instead of fancy dinners, many are choosing more affordable ways to connect.
Definitely lunch date, you know, it's casual and you get to know them easier. It's not as intimate as dinner.
Those smaller dates also lower the pressure.
Nowadays, where mostly a lot of people are meeting people online, and maybe you're going on multiple dates a week along with your regular socializing. So it's not necessarily sustainable to be kind of high spending in the dating world.
Money isn't just shaping how people date, it's becoming a deal breaker too.
In our ramped up consumer economy and work conditions, it's very hard to do that.
I feel like I try to gauge their sense of responsibility and like financial literacy, because that's really important. You don't want to get into a situation with someone who's not good with money.
Trust is important too. It takes a long time to build, and it's important to keep up. And your finances and being open and honest and communicating are really important
for both long-term relationships and finances. TD says the shift towards cheaper dates could actually be a good thing, encouraging honesty, creativity, conversations that matter earlier on. Because these days, love might be priceless, but dating definitely isn't. Maria?
That is the absolute truth. Thank you, Hafsa. CTV's Hafsa Arif for us in the news center this evening. All right, that actually brings us to tonight's web poll. We're asking, have you changed your dating habits due to the current economic conditions? These are your options. Yes, I'm going on fewer dates. Or yes, I'm choosing cheaper date options. Or no, I haven't changed my dating habits. Just go to ctvnewsatlantic.ca to weigh in and to see the latest poll results. And I suppose you can still date if you're married, right? As long as you're dating your spouse. Just to clarify. But yeah, maybe I suppose we're going out a little less these days.
I think a lot of people are, Maria. Yeah. Coming up at 6 o'clock tonight, the former CEO of the IWK has been sentenced to 9 months in jail for fraud. Tracy Kitch appeared in court in Halifax and was led away in handcuffs after the judge handed down her sentence, and we will have the details tonight at 6 o'clock. There soon could be an incentive for Nova Scotia drivers to carpool. The province is considering letting motorists use bus lanes if there are 2 or more people in the vehicle. It's all in an attempt to cut down on congestion. We'll hear about the plan. A new partnership between Nova Scotia Power and the community college system in the province will help local students with job opportunities at the utility. The new Power and Utility Line Work program is up and running at a couple of campuses. Tonight at 6, we will hear about the initiative. Right now, let's hear about the current conditions. And the power is on pretty much everywhere because the temperatures aren't that low and the snow is not that bad, although we did see a few flakes.
Yes, we continue to see a little bit of snow this evening for parts of the Maritimes. We'll take a look at that in a moment. The temperatures, as Todd mentioned for today, were near to slightly above average for this time of the year, a little bit above average for parts of Nova Scotia, just getting onto the plus side of the scale. Now, as we make our way through this evening and tonight across the Maritimes, temperatures will be falling back to and below the freezing mark. Taking a look at the winds, relatively light and variable in direction around the Maritimes. They're mostly being sustained between around 5 and 15 kilometers per hour. Some winds sustained closer to 20 down around the coastline of the southwest of Nova Scotia. No wind gusts to really show you at this hour. Taking a look at things on radar and satellite, the snow that I mentioned. You can see there's an area of light snow that's wrapping in off the Atlantic around central areas of Nova Scotia. There is some lighter snow and some flurries also extending into the southwest of that province. There will be a chance of flurries for other parts of the Maritimes, but this is where most of the snow will be falling as we continue to make our way through this evening. That is with a little low pressure system that is just making its way across the southwestern corner of Nova Scotia. Not much accumulation is expected out of that, but again, with temperatures falling and getting back down to and below the freezing mark, be careful about maybe some surfaces turning a little bit greasy, a little bit slick where that snow is coming down into this evening. I'll have an update on that when I'm back a little bit later on. Maria.
Good to know. Thank you, Kaylin. Right now, we're taking our first break on CTV News at 5. Stay with us, though. Find out how to win a $2,500 gift card to Charm Diamond Center still ahead. Plus, we have these stories.
I'm Laura Brown in Fredericton, and coming up on CTV News at 5, it's been 10 years since thousands of Syrian refugees came to Canada. 1,600 were welcomed here in New Brunswick. I spoke to one Syrian man on what that was like coming here to New Brunswick in the middle of a snowstorm and why he chose to stay. I'll have that story coming up on CTV News at 5.
I'm Avery McRae in St. John, where the folks here at Avenue B Harm Reduction have released a new music video that outlines the steps to administer Naloxone, and it's inspired by a popular song. Keep it here for all the details on CTV News at 5.
Hi, I'm Juanita Peters. I'm the Executive Director of the Africville Museum, and I can't wait for you to hear about the new exhibit, A Walk Through Africville, on the floor right now at IKEA in Dartmouth. Learn more on CTV News at 5.
Bobby's Hospice provides valuable palliative and grief support to hundreds of people every year. You can help Hospice Greater St. John by enjoying the annual Valentine's Day Gala, Saturday, February 14th. For details, call 506-632-5593.
An exhibit honoring the historic community of Africville is now on display at IKEA in Dartmouth. As CTV's Vanessa Wright shows us, it's a special showcase of Africville's enduring strength and legacy.
The exhibit is called A Walk Through Africville. It offers a glimpse of what life was like in the once thriving community.
It was open homes, open doors. It was just a vast community of beautiness that from the people to the land, it was such a beautiful place to be.
Africville was home to many before it was bulldozed by the city in the 1960s in what they called an urban renewal. It displaced thousands of residents.
You know, the irony of A Walk Through Africville exhibit being in IKEA is just amazing because everybody comes here to IKEA to take things home that make their house more comfortable. And this story is all about a community that was here for over 150 years that did that too, and then was erased.
With no physical muse to go off of, the exhibit was purely created through memories and mementos, replicating Africville's commonly used spaces, from post offices to general stores.
What comes to mind is all the memories that we left behind in Africville.
It's still a fresh wound for Africville descendants like Beatrice Wilkins, who grapples with the loss and injustice.
Gathering like this brings back all the old memories of what we lost. And just to know that people are listening, my question is, where were they 40, 50 years ago? And I know we can't change time, but in this moment, it's all coming back.
It's hoped this exhibit will remind people of this part of Nova Scotian and Canadian history.
I want them to know the history, that it was just more than the ugly parts of it. There was a lot of beauty in this community, and I hope I can show that with this exhibit, that there was life. They lived there perfectly with no issues.
And though they were separated, proof remains their legacy will live on. Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Dartmouth.
Thank you, Vanessa. And again, if you'd like to see the exhibit, it's on display throughout the month at IKEA, which is really such an easy place to go and kind of peruse. I mean, you're in there walking around anyway. Stop by with the kids and learn a little bit about some of the local history for sure.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like an exhibit that's worth checking out for sure. Temperatures today in parts of the Maritimes probably a little bit milder than most people would expect for the month of February, which we often associate with some pretty deep cold in place around the region. Looking at here at a fairly calm scene at the water's edge at East Chesapeake, Nova Scotia. We're going to have more in the forecast after the break.
CTV and Charm Diamond Centers want to help you charm your Valentine. With Valentine's Day just around the corner, you could win a $2,500 gift card to Charm Diamond Centers to help express your love for that special someone. To enter, just go to ctvatlantic.ca or click on the QR code on your screen right now. We will announce the winner on Friday, February 13th, which is coming up so quickly, Caitlin.
It's got to be a lucky Friday, February 13th for somebody out there.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, I think a lot of people are kind of hoping we don't have a snowstorm because they've been coming every week.
For sure. But,
any on the horizon?
Nothing on the horizon yet, although I never fully let my guard down this time of the year, or truthfully, until we're through the month of March. So taking a look at conditions right now, or actually earlier today and around Moncton, we're looking at some of the walking paths here. Lots of cloud cover, as you can see, and temperatures that were slightly on the milder side for early February, though we do have some colder conditions on their way in towards the Maritimes for the end of this week and around for the upcoming weekend. We can see, as we take a look at our weather systems map, all that cloud cover in place around the Maritimes is showing up here in through the gray barometric pressure, either towards the high or low side, somewhere in between at the moment, though there is a very weak low pressure system crossing the southwest of Nova Scotia, and there's some snow wrapping around that low into parts of that province. We'll take a closer look at that on radar in just a moment. Position of the jet stream, though, there is a big ridge that is built up around the west, so some very mild temperatures around southern areas of BC, Alberta, and into parts of Saskatchewan, but then it dips down to this deep trough all the way down to the United States, allowing for some cold air to flow in that direction, and the next round of very cold polar sourced air just kind of breaking down over Hudson Bay, and that's heading our direction again for the end of this week and for the upcoming weekend. Taking a look at things on radar right now, you can see some of that snow. It's coming in off the Atlantic around that low pressure system. Now, a fair bit of this throughout the day today has been melting, but temperatures are beginning to fall now, back down towards and below the freezing mark, and that snow is still coming down. So some accumulation in this is certainly possible as we make our way through this evening. In some cases, it might be up to around 1 to 5 centimeters. Be careful about some of the surfaces, including maybe some of the roads and walking paths becoming a little bit slippery or a little bit greasy as the temperatures fall and that snow is still coming down. Taking a look at our forecast timeline then for cloud cover and precipitation. There's the snow wrapping in around that low pressure system, and you can see that as we head towards midnight, that is expected to move east of the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia. Conditions in behind it remaining pretty cloudy into the start of the day for tomorrow, and on Thursday we're looking at cloudy periods, maybe occasional peaks of sunshine or breaks where you can spot a little bit of blue sky, but there'll also be some scattered flurries across the Maritimes. Winds in the forecast for tonight, relatively light. Tomorrow's winds becoming northwest, and they will be sustained in most cases up around 10 to 15 kilometers per hour, but with some occasional gusts up between 20 and 40 kilometers per hour. It's that northwest wind direction that's going to start to bring in some colder air to the region. Taking a look at lows in the forecast for tonight, we do have low temperatures still for the province of New Brunswick that for many areas will fall between -10 and -16, down to around -7 tonight for Charlottetown and Summerside, Prince Edward Island, and most low temperatures in Nova Scotia tonight falling between -4 and -8. Here's a look at your high temperatures in the forecast for Thursday, and in New Brunswick, Brunswick. Most of the highs for central and southern parts of the province between -3 and -6. In the north of New Brunswick between -6 and -9. Charlottetown and Prince Edward Island, the high temperature around -5 for tomorrow. And in Nova Scotia, the high temperatures between 0 and -3. Again, fairly cloudy conditions and with some scattered flurries in the region. Let's take a look at our weather watcher for tonight. And tonight's weather watcher is coming in from 7-year-old Alexina Rose Marie Long from Middle Sackville, Nova Scotia. Alexina sent us a drawing of skating on the pond with her brother. Some snow falling on them. Thank you, Alexina. And weather watchers can come in to CTV Weather Watchers, P.O. Box 1653, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3GA2Z4. Or you can email me at kalen.mitchell@bellmedia.ca. Maria.
Harm Reduction Group in St. John hopes to educate the public on how to help someone who may be going through an overdose. As CTV's Avery McRae shows us, the catchy cover can save a life.
Remember, save me. At first, it sounds like another cover of award-winning music artist Jelly Roll's hit song, Save Me. Stimulate by shouting. But when you listen to the lyrics, this rendition of the song has a different but equally important message.
I've had every funder, supporter reach out to us, a lot of other executive directors, folks that are doing the work and saying this is impactful.
Avenue B Harm Reduction in St. John created the video to educate someone who may be witnessing an overdose. The lyrics were written and performed by office manager Chris Riker.
It's a really emotional song and a catchy song. If one person, remembers one of the steps from this song, then that can be the difference between saving a life and not.
The title, Save Me, spells out the steps for administering naloxone, which are laid out in the song. S is for stimulate. Try shouting to see if the person reacts. A is for airwaves. Check and see if the person can breathe. V is for ventilate. Give the person one breath every 5 seconds. Then E is for evaluate. Is the person breathing on their own? If not, then comes M, which stands for medicate by administering naloxone through either the thigh or butt. The last E again stands for evaluate. Continue to monitor the person until first responders arrive.
It's so accurate.
Ali Miles has worked along Waterloo Street for 3 years and says she administers more naloxone than ever.
I just hope that it opens people's eyes to what's going on the street and how everybody deserves to live.
The video has already amassed about 30,000 views.
We produced this for everyone. It's not just for harm reduction workers. Anyone can save a life.
And while the man who inspired the song hasn't seen it to their knowledge yet,
he supports naloxone and other harm reduction initiatives, so he has links right on his website. So I feel like it's only a matter of time.
You're not damaged beyond repair. You deserve to have hopes and dreams. Avery McRae, CTV News, St. John.
Thank you very much, Avery. And speaking of talented musicians, Jamila is originally from Jamaica and comes from reggae royalty, and she carries those roots into her music here in Nova Scotia. She's getting ready for a special African Heritage Month event at Pier 21 this Friday night, sharing the stage with Julian Taylor for an evening of music and storytelling. Tonight's African Heritage Month Music Spotlight features her song Roots Girl. Here's a preview as we head to break.
Because we sword and shield. King Rastafari, the I Trinity, I just a roots girl skanking. Roots girl skanking, the reggae. Sound system ranking, real reggae shuffling. Say we are shuffle kinky reggae.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter. This is where you could be lounging when you win Password to Paradise to Beaches, Turks and Caicos.
Listen for your password starting 6 a.m. weekdays, and this could be your view.
Welcome back. 10 years ago, dozens of maritime communities welcomed hundreds of Syrian refugees as the civil war drove them from their home country. As CTV's Laura Brown reports, data shows the majority have stayed, including one family that has made Fredericton home.
Suleiman Abazid recalls looking out of the airplane as they flew over New Brunswick. The land was blanketed in white. The next day, a snowstorm kept the family of 4 inside for 3 days.
I decided in my mind to come back to Jordan at that time because it's I have never seen like this weather before. But when the snow melted, it's like a heaven.
That was 10 years ago. Abazid's family came to Canada during the massive Syrian refugee resettlement movement. In 100 days between November 2015 and February 2016, the country welcomed over 26,000 Syrians. 1,600 landed in New Brunswick.
What we saw was a whole community approach and whole communities who wanted to be involved, to welcome individuals from Syria to Canada and really make sure that they felt at home.
According to Data NB, 74% of Syrians who arrived during that time were still here 5 years later. The 10-year data will officially be released next year, but McNamara believes the retention rate has remained stable. He says, we're still learning lessons from that time.
There's a lot of work that still needs to be done, but the encouraging part is we have communities who want to get that work done, who want to bring in newcomers because they see, A, the value that having diversity within communities brings, but also we're facing a demographic challenge.
It felt like minus 18 this morning. Abazid admits he's still not used to Canadian winters, but in a full circle moment, he opened a barber shop, which is what he did in Syria before the war. His 2 certificates, Syrian and Canadian, hang proudly in his shop. He's quick to respond when asked what it was that made him stay.
You are in a safe place. That's the most important thing, yes.
Laura Brown, CTV News, Fredericton.
A safe place for you and your family. Isn't that the most important thing indeed? Thank you for sharing so much. Laura mentioned minus 18 this morning. That's hard for all of us to get used to, even if you were born here.
It's not even too bad by February standards here in the Maritimes. Temperatures are going to be on the colder side, of course, to start the day for tomorrow, but some even colder temperatures headed our way for the end of this week. So I'm going to have more on that coming up on CTV News at 6 when we get into the extended forecast. Other things that I'm looking at, some more flurries expected as we head through tonight and into tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Kaylin. We'll see you and Todd and Katie at 6 o'clock. I'll see you tomorrow. The national news is next. Thanks for watching. Good night.